G'day and welcome to this episode of Project Fix the 60. Now in this episode I'm going to show you how to replace the front guard on a 60 series cruiser. Now I'm actually filming this intro after I've already replaced the guard, mainly because I forgot to film it beforehand, but I do have some footage of having this guard off, or the old guard off, and dummy fitting the new guard. Now I've been putting this job off I reckon for about 6 months, probably a little bit longer even. I actually replaced the, or damaged the front guard on a pretty nasty four-wheel drive track here in Tassie a little while ago, and I've been putting this job off for ages and ages because it just doesn't look like a whole lot of fun. So I did do a bit of research before I tackled the project, and everywhere I read, or the research that I performed, said that there were 26 bolts holding the guard on. Now I actually found 28, so I'm not sure if there's slight variances between models. This is an 83 model, it's single headlight, so there could be a couple of slight differences, but as I said, in my 83 single headlight model, there are 28 bolts holding the front guard on. Now that doesn't mean that there's only 28 bolts you need to undo. You need to undo a fair few more than that, or a few more than that, because you need to remove, before you start, you need to remove your window washer bottle. You need to remove the surround, the headlight and indicator surround. You need to remove the hinge or the spring that holds the bonnet up, and then once you do that you need to hold the bonnet up somehow with a timber stud or something like that. And then you need to take off all the relays that are bolted on the inside of the guard here. There's a few of those, so I didn't count how many bolts they were. Oh, the air cleaner as well. So there's a few, they're pretty obvious, they're staring at in the face, so it's pretty logical. You can see what you have to replace there, but what's not immediately obvious is where the 28 bolts are. So what I'm going to do right now is I've got the old guard here. I'm going to show you where those 28 bolt holes are. Instead of showing you on the truck, I'm just going to show you on the guard because I think it's probably easier because you can't really see in there much anymore. So I'm going to do that right now. Rightio, I'm going to show you where the 28 bolt holes are now on this 60 series cruiser guard that I've taken off. I've actually numbered these holes because as much for myself as you guys to make sure I was getting them right. So I'm just going to try and bring this in. Hopefully it focuses in all right, and I'll show you where they are. So we have 1, 2 and 3. Now just take note that these 3 here are 10mm heads and every other bolt is 12mm head. Now I did actually snap off a couple of these, so I snapped this one off here. So I do recommend spraying some CRC or WD-40 before you start. So we've got our 1, 2, 3. Then if I turn the guard around a bit, we have 4 and 5 here. Number 6 is here. We have 7, 8. Move this up. We have, so we can see that, number 9. Now there's 5 on the firewall. So 10, 11, lift this up again, 12, 13, 14. So see those there. Then we have 15. It's actually quite tight to get into 15. It's just there. It's behind the snorkel or the door. So it's 15. We have 16 and 17 there. 18 is under here, and you can see how much rust this old guard had over there. Now there's 18. Now there's 10 on the inside of the guard. So there's 5 on the inside, 5 on the outside. So I'll go through those. So we're up to 18. And I'll try and lift this up. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 up here. And then even further inside, 24, 25, 26, 27 and 28 here. So not sure well how that's going to come out on film, but there's your 28 bolts. Now tools you need for this, it's really handy if you've got a 10, 12mm ratchet spanner as well as a ratchet socket set. If you don't have either of those, you're really going to struggle. Now on mine I had a snorkel as well, but that wasn't too much of a drama. Luckily the guard that I replaced already had the holes drilled, so that was pretty cool. But that's about it. That's where the 28 holes hide. Hopefully the footage come out all right on that. I'll check in a moment, make sure it did. But I just thought it was easier to show you here on this old guard than what it was to show you on the vehicle. So the front guards I removed last night. it wasn't a fun job, but it wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was going to be. The biggest problems I had, my sliders were a bit of a pain. There's a couple of bolts that sort of bolt in down just up under here. They're a bit hard to get to. I've had to drop my sliders down, which wasn't the easiest thing to do because they've been in for years and years. I snapped a few bolts, well, we snapped 2 bolts actually. Actually 3 down in there. There's 3 down in there, and I snapped all 3. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue because it does bolt. There's 2 bolts here and there's another one under there, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. The only other, not a problem I had, the other issue was I'd run cables, so I'd run a few bits and pieces through the inner guard, or through inside of the guard, which I thought was a good idea at the time, but that was just a little bit of a pain because I had to remove those. But all in all, it wasn't actually as hard as I thought. But I had to panel beat out the inner guard there a bit. I'm not sure if that's enough or whether I have to have a bit more of a go at it. But I'm just about to fit the new guard. That's the little leaf catcher box in the bottom of the air cleaner, so obviously haven't cleaned that out for a fair while. There's a nice little collection in there. So just going to fit this guard and hopefully it goes on really smoothly. Rightio, here's the new guard dummy fitted up. It's not bolted in yet. Because I snapped a few bolts getting that one out, I'm going to, just in case I ever have to pull this out again, which hopefully I never have to, but I'm just going to put some anti-seize on the bolts when I put them in. You'll see here, I've got had a Safari snorkel on before, and I was lucky enough to buy this guard that's had a Safari snorkel on it again, so I don't have to re-drill the holes or anything, so that's a bit of a bonus. Well, that's the end of this episode of Project Fix the 60. I really enjoyed making this video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Hopefully you got some information, and hopefully this helps you if you ever unfortunately have to change the guard on your 60 series cruiser. Hopefully this video helps. That's what it's there for. So thanks very much for watching.